Welcome to the recording of Take Action on Radon stakeholder meetings from September 2022. You'll find the information starts with our national initiatives and then regional initiatives, and then finishes with a presentation on Take Action on Radon's plans for this November Radon Action Month. And if you have any questions, then feel free to reach out to us. It starts with Kelly Bush from Health Canada sharing Health Canada's initiatives for this coming November.
Many of you have already heard us talk about our Radon Action Guides for provinces and territories and Radon Action Guide for municipalities. They are going to be launched later this week, likely early next week. So they'll be available in PDF format and on our website. These Radon Action Guides are evidence-based. They were developed by a legal and environmental health expert. Many of you know him, Dr. Questel, and really they describe the regulatory and policy actions that other levels of government, so provinces, territories, and municipalities in Canada can take. And the reason for developing these is what we've seen is that from a behavior change perspective, where Canadians are taking action to test and reduce radon exposure, that tends to be something that happens more frequently when there's support at lower levels or at lower levels of government or at a grassroots level. So we wanted to support that effort as much as we could. So these guides provide the guidance and information for these other levels of government so that they can take a look at what they can do and how radon fits into the work that they do. And it also includes lots of examples of work that's already being done across the country so that that they can say, hey, we can do that too, or we can, oh, look what this province or this municipality is doing. Let's tweak it and make it fit in the work that we're doing. So we really want to make it as easy as possible for other levels of government to take action on radon. So again, those guides are going to be available in later this week or early next. We will confirm as soon as they're up on the website, and that'll go out through Take Action on Radon and through our regional radon specialists as well. And then there's a number of other things that we'll be doing to support Radon Action Month, social media. We're hoping for a message from our minister or chief public health officer recognizing Radon Action Month again this year. We'll confirm all of that as the plans solidify. And I'd like to take the opportunity to introduce you to my colleague who runs the National Radon Program with me, Powell, who will speak to some of the other work that's being done. I believe he's on the call, and maybe you want to turn your camera on, Powell, and introduce yourself.
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Great. Well, thanks for the introduction. So I have met some of you so far, but there's a lot of new faces and names. So for everyone, I'm Powell McCarskey. I'm the new head of the Radon Technical Operations section, which does handle as Kelly said, the technical aspects of the National Radon Program. I started this role in this past June, so I am fairly new to this field here. However, I'm coming from a background of nuclear forensics, specifically in the measurement of atmospheric radioactivity, looking at a variety of different radioactive isotopes and gases, radon included. So I am quite familiar with the technical side of what of this field. So like Kelly mentioned, our group, we're handling several of these things. These are some of the priorities and highlights that we have upcoming, identified as priorities for the following year and onwards. The first of which is to continue our Canada-wide studies into the different factors that could affect radon that we will then theoretically use to inform and update and clarify some of the guidance that Health Canada is putting out. So we recently completed or received the results of the study that we performed over the last year and a half, which was our last major initiative. And this was the study of radon levels in homes in Halifax before and after the changes to the National Building Code that were incorporated. And so the results of that will be publicly available quite soon. The next large upcoming study that we are planning to undertake starting this fall, with testing hopefully beginning in the spring, is the study of the seasonal variation of radon testing. And so from what we've seen so far in other studies and other researchers that have seen is that there isn't as much of a seasonal variation as we may expect. However, we still currently recommend that the testing is done during the heating season. So we hope to collect the data to then inform whether this could be, this guidance could be changed or not. The other priority that we've seen is we see that continuous radon monitors are becoming more and more publicly available. There's many different options available to consumers. And so us and other groups have been starting to do the testing. I know Karsten and Pam are very involved in this as well. So we're all working together to evaluate the performance of some of these radon monitors to see exactly how the public can use them as a tool to determine the radon levels of their home and ensure that people aren't being at increased risk because of their use. And lastly, the other priorities that we have in our group is we're partnered with many different organizations in funding and performing research into these different radon control measures that can be involved. And so this includes the passive radon stacks, the effects of energy retrofits, energy efficient upgrades, and how that affects the radon levels of homes. And so that's something that is ongoing, has been ongoing for many years, and we will continue to do this. And lumped in with this is also the results of this research really helps us when we're working with trying to get these included into the different building codes. And so we have members of our group now that work to try to include a lot of these radon control measures into the upcoming national building codes that can then propagate out to the provincial level and hopefully be incorporated in the construction of homes. And so that's everything from my side of the program.
Great. Thanks so much, Powell. And yeah, great to have you join us, and both today, but great to have you join us in the radon community. So good to, thanks. Kelly, anything else you wanted to chat about?
No, I'm happy to answer any questions. And I just wanted to mention that my hair is not actually purple. I am in New Brunswick, working from New Brunswick for a couple weeks, and don't have my webcam, and I'm using the camera on my laptop. And this is the color it turns my hair. So I just wanted to clarify.
All right, there we go. Also, we do want to highlight that Health Canada released the new public building measurement guide recently. I put August, although it might have been a little bit sooner than that, but I think it was available on the website by August. So anyways, it's there and available. So if you are involved in testing in public buildings, it's an important thing for you to check out to make sure it's following the current guidance. And we can always, it's easy to find if you Google it. And then also we call it library loan resources, or we've talked about it as library loan resources, but also Health Canada has developed resources for any lending program, and they are hosted on the Take Action on Radon website. So they are there. There is a link that you can go and register to get the resources, and we'll share what's been developed so far. The reason we want people to register is so that we can keep track of sort of what programs are going on across the country. And if things are updated, we can let you know that there's been an update to any of the resources. So you can check it out there. I know it's more than just libraries now. We're seeing, I think in Nova Scotia, they worked with the MLAs, and others have been working with other organizations. So we're seeing that roll out in all sorts of ways across the country. All right, any questions for Kelly or Powell? You can always throw them in the chat, but if there's anyone wanting to ask anything, you can have a couple minutes.
I just had a question for Kelly about the mail outs of the postcards. Will you be doing it again later this year?
Actually, really good point. We've been so focused on the Radon Action Guides that I didn't even mention them. Yes, we will be. And so we're going to send them out in mid-October. We'll confirm the actual sort of time frame week. We decided, so in the past we've sent them out in November and January, and we just thought it might be interesting to see what, if any, difference it would make to send them out just before Radon Action Month. There are a little over 1.2 million postcards going out, I believe. And we're waiting to confirm with Canada Post, but I think we're going to get down to sort of the bottom of our list, right, we've been going through the FSAs based on our cross Canada survey and the highest risk. We started with the highest risk back in 2020. We think we might get close to the bottom, and we're basically going from just over 5% to about 1%. And so the plan for next year would be then to start over at the top of the list and maybe look at redesigning the postcard and trying a bit of a different approach from a behavior change perspective, with the lens that they, most of these homes would have received one postcard already. So, but again, simply to answer your question, yes, mid-October, about 1.2 million. And as per previous years, once we have the breakdown and the regions that were, the breakdown of where the postcards are being distributed, we will happily share that.
Oh, that's great, Kelly. Like I said, it's probably the best initiative that anyone has ever taken on increasing to get testing increased, and we've seen a huge response the last 2 years. So congratulations, and look forward to that.
Thank you.
Thanks, Alan. Anyone else? All right, well, she's sticking around, so I'll keep going. There is something else that we wanted to highlight. This was a great initiative of a few different groups. Identifying, as Powell talked about, we've been working on research to check with the digital radon monitors, and we have identified a couple that are not accurate. And so this has been a great initiative that the advisory went out on Twitter. So if you didn't see it, we encourage you to go chase back and retweet it on your channels and just get communication out, warning people about this specific device. Also, we wanted to let you know if you're, selling or encouraging people to purchase, this is one to stay away from. So it's called the Radon Guard, which unfortunately matches another product, but it's a digital radon monitor. And so you can find the information on Health Canada's website, as well the consumer product advisory section or the recall section of the website. So, and you can check out our social media channels as well. We did tweet it out as well. All right, and then some of the initiatives that CNRPP, so CNRPP is our National Radon Certification Program. We've got resources and certification training for measurement and mitigation professionals across the country. Just a few of the initiatives that we're working on. One is an international intercomparison project where we're intercomparing chambers. That's sort of the first source of our whole quality assurance program across the device products. And so that's a project that has been going for many years as we've been engaging with chambers around the world. And we're excited to say that it's likely to be published at the end of the year. So we're almost coming to the end of that project. We also have been working on placement location as part of our work with Health Canada, just sort of evaluating, how specific do we need to be in those placement measurement locations in our room. So we did some research there, and we're looking to make that publicly available. We're also working on a project to update our method of listing devices. We've been working on this for a number of years, and we've been doing the intercomparison of the digital radon monitors, and last year we did an internal intercomparison of the passive devices. And so we're working on making that more public this year and involving all the devices, so more information will come out. And then we're just continuing to provide assistance and resources for our professionals as we try and maintain standards. Dr. Dussault, I see you have a question.
Yes, I just wanted to add, there is another radon monitor, which is also on warning by Health Canada, and it also is made in China, and both can be available from Amazon. So we should be careful. That's the first two, maybe some more will come up in the next few weeks, I don't know, but I just wanted to add that. Thank you. So
yeah, good, thanks. That's right. The Air Steward is the name of the second one. Yeah. Good, thanks. All right, and then for karst initiatives, we are reaching out to MPs across the country. We're working with our members to do this, to have a united approach as we reach out to MPs and encourage them to learn about radon and provide them with a digital radon monitor so that they can kind of really get hands-on learning and that sort of thing. So that's one of our initiatives at the CARS level we're working on. We're also have done this for a couple of years where we're reaching out to cities and asking them to proclaim November as Radon Action Month, and then provinces as well. So we're working on that as well for November. And then also we have been working on workplaces. We've reached out to, last year we reached out to all the ministers that workplaces was under their portfolio, asking them if they'd talked to radon, a few questions about radon. And we received some responses, so we're going to do that again this year. And we also reached out to the Work Safe programs across the country, whatever they're called in the various provinces, to ask what resources they have for radon. So we'll continue to work on that engagement. And then we've also been working on an initiative with CRPA to survey workplaces or survey their members on which workplaces. And so we'd like to expand this to other groups as well. So if you're interested in helping us with this, we'd reach out to general populations and ask them if their workplaces are testing for radon. We thought we'd start with a bottom-up approach and try and get the discussion going from the workers' perspective. So that's another initiative that CARS is working on. All right, and then also we do have a radon measurement and mitigation course coming up in Kelowna next week. So for any of those who know somebody that is able to jump on that next week, there's still a few spots open there. Good, any questions for that work? Or, oh, there's one more, actually there's two more national associations. Ali, did you want to talk a little bit about CRPA?
Sure. Hi everyone, my name is Ali. So CRPA, we're have this been a couple of years that we formed this working group with CARS and CRPA. And one of the things that Pam mentioned at the initial, that we're trying to reach out to both membership, trying to get the awareness going and trying to see what we could come up with. But also in terms of working together, just want to make sure that I just want to put it out there that the CRPA having their annual conference, which was canceled past 3 years. Hopefully, knock on wood, everything's going to go according to plan. It's going to happen in Halifax, and it's going to be in May 15 to May 18 in Halifax. So for you're all welcome to join. We're going to have a dedicated section on radon, and which we're going to have speakers to talk on radon and trying to increase awareness, not just for the CRPA members, but the whole audience as well, too, who is joining us for that conference. And also the CRPA, as I mentioned, CRPA CARS working group. We are going, one of the things that we're working this year is reaching out to school and testing for radons. And that's one of the things we're excited to work with CARS on this. And we'll have some, hopefully we'll have some results next year or so. That's it for me. If you have any questions, please do reach out to me or Pam, and we'll be glad to answer any questions you may have.
Yeah.
Thank you, Pam.
That's great. Thanks so much, Ali. I don't know if John Kudrowski is on the phone, or, but this is another national initiative that is an important work that's going on. Or Kelly, I don't know if you wanted to speak more to this, but John is with the First Nations National Building Officials Officers Association, FINBOA, and they have a pilot project that they're working on to address new construction on First Nations. And so they've got a pilot program where they're offering to review blueprints to ensure that the radon reduction systems are in place for new construction on all First Nations. So that's a free program that they've made available. So if you are with a First Nation or you know a First Nation that might be interested, you can reach out to them as well.
Yeah, I don't know if there's really much to add. I know they're working pretty closely with Karst as well, but it's great that Indigenous Services Canada really wants to start building out more of a framework and an approach to addressing radon. And so when they have some funding available, they are trying to create these opportunities for these types of pilots, and being able to start building better homes in First Nations communities, period, is a priority, right? And so being able to address radon as they move forward in building healthier homes, I think is a great step in the right direction. So, yeah.
Yeah, good. Thanks, Kelly. Good. And then we also wanted to remind you, continuing growing interest in mitigation grants. And so these are a list of them across the country. In Kelowna, there's the Regional District of Central Okanagan had a mitigation grant. It was used up very quickly. So we're looking at reaching out and finding new sources of revenue to help support that. So it's hopefully temporarily closed for now. But then also the Lung Association of Manitoba has a grant program for those that have lung cancer or low income. So please share that information, their Lungs Matter program. Manitoba Hydro also has a loan program. And then of course in Saskatchewan, we've got the Lungs Caring Breath program and the Saskatchewan Home Renovation Grant program. And then Ontario has an Ontario Renovates program that does include radon mitigation in some of them, but you do need to check the regional areas. And then of course the grants in Quebec municipalities as well. There are a few available. So any other national initiatives that anybody wanted to share? You can feel free to chat in or mention anything. And then after that, this will go to the Atlantic region. So Roshini, maybe I'll get you ready to share anything that's out in the Atlantic and prep. Last call for any national initiatives. All right, great. All right, let's go across the country. So out east, Roshini, do you want to start with some summaries, or you can call in somebody if you know some great work going on?
Yeah, sure. I don't think I see anyone else from like the Lung Association or anything on the line, but if I'm wrong, please chime in. Anyways, so yes, for those who don't know me or I don't know you, excuse me, sorry, I just inhaled my lunch. So anyways, yes, I'm Roshini. I'm the Health Canada Radon Specialist in the Atlantic region. I'm based in Halifax. And there's actually, it's very exciting. There's a lot of stuff going on. Powell already mentioned our HRM radon survey and testing of the older or the continuous monitors. We're actually going to be working with Nova Scotia libraries, since they were the first library lending program in the country. So we'll be testing and seeing how those devices are holding up. And then just a couple of other things I want to highlight. So we're working with the Lung Association of Nova Scotia and Prince Edward Island, as well as the New Brunswick Lung Association, and they will be hosting a Atlantic Radon workshop in November 22nd. It's virtual, and so that's super exciting. We've never done that before, in terms of inviting basically all the stakeholders from all different sectors to this workshop to talk about radon, and then to start kind of planning some action items for each province or within the region or whatnot. So that'll be cool. If you are an Atlantic stakeholder, if you want to learn more about this, please shoot me a message or whatnot. I can connect you. The next thing I want to mention is in Prince Edward Island, the schools will be tested for radon. They have already been tested. In fact, we are super cool here in Atlantic. All of our schools have been tested over the last few years. Newfoundland and Labrador did their testing last year and the year before, and now PEI wants to retest. So they'll be testing their schools over the next 3 years, starting with 20 schools, I think, this year. So they're going to start that testing this fall, and I'll be supporting them through that. And then in Newfoundland and Labrador, the libraries there will be starting the library lending program. They'll be piloting it in 10 libraries across the province, sort of in different regions or whatnot. And yeah, that should be launching this fall as well. And the last thing I wanted to shout out was the lending program through our provincial MLAs here in Nova Scotia. That was an initiative through the Lung Association as well. And I believe we have about just over half of the MLAs participating. So basically it's the lending program, but with each MLA's constituency office. So, and apparently it's going really well, and it's a great way to not only increase sort of the reach of, using the lending program and the radon monitors and getting the word out there, because it is a very popular program through the libraries here in Nova Scotia, but also educating the MLAs and their staff about radon too, which I think, we will also be doing a lot of engagement with them through the Radon Action Guides, as Kelly mentioned. So yeah, it's been going well and getting a lot of great feedback from that program. So, if any other provinces want to learn more about that, let me know and I can connect you with the Lung Association too. I'll stop there. There's lots more, but but I don't want to take up the whole time. But I'll throw my contact information in the chat. So if anyone wants to reach out to me, I'm always happy to talk about radon.
That's great.
And that is a beautiful photo of, looks like Newfoundland. It is a nice sunny day like that here. It's just way windier. So anyway.
Good. Thanks so much, Roshini. Yeah, and I guess another thing to highlight is we are looking for more mitigation professionals in Newfoundland. We do have a demand there of homeowners who are looking for support. We hear that there are some on track to get mitigated, but we do need some support there. So that's another area of need.
Yes, actually, and we've engaged NB Lung to help us find some people in Newfoundland and Labrador. And from what I understand, there are a couple of people going through the courses right now, and we hope that they will be certified soon. So at least we'll have one or two, yeah. and then it'll just snowball from there. So, but yeah,
that's great. Good. All right, and so before actually we move westward, anyone else have any update or anything that Roshini didn't touch on?
Tom, I had a question for Roshini. Is the Newfoundland government doing anything in terms of legislation, building codes, etc.? I know they've been very slow to kind of pick up on the risk of radon in Newfoundland. I just wondered if there was anything happening.
So that's a really great question. In Newfoundland, yeah, it's kind of a challenge in Newfoundland because there aren't many radon stakeholders up there. So I've just been focusing on trying to find people. And luckily I have found the manager of environmental health through the province of Newfoundland and Labrador. So he's been connecting me or trying to connect me with some people. And I do have kind of regular chats with him, and we will be inviting him and anyone else we know of to the Atlantic Radon Workshop. But you're absolutely right. That's always something to work on, to promote, to find the right people in Newfoundland and Labrador to, deal with building codes and the building inspectors and stuff like that. And it kind of has to go through each municipality and trying to find those contacts is somewhat challenging, but I think the good thing is too that there are quite a number of municipalities did the 100 test kit challenge through Take Action on Radon. So we do have some contacts in Stephenville and Gander and Harbor Breton and stuff like that. So we're starting.
Yeah.
Good.
Rashini, Steve, there's a gentleman by the name of Steve Thorne who's out of St. John's, and he's doing his mitigation certification right now. He should be done it, I would think, by the end of this month.
Awesome.
So I just sent you a note. If you can send me the link to that 22nd event,
Yeah.
I'll make sure he's on that. And he's quite a well-spoken guy. I think he'll be a good asset for the Radon team out there in Newfoundland.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Cheers.
Yeah, well, cheer on Steve. We need you mitigators.
Yeah. Definitely.
Good. Anything else? Yeah, and Aaron will touch a little bit on more of the work that we've done with those municipalities and once we get to our section. Good. All right, we'll move to Quebec. So I'm not sure who wants to start. Dr. Dussault, did you want to give an update, or Mathieu? Should we start with you?
I'm ready if
right.
you're ready.
Yeah.
So, so two highlights in the Quebec province, mainly. Maybe Dr. Dussault can bring more details on them, but we had very good discussions through a consultative committee with the Régie du Bâtiment du Québec, which is the building regulators. Up to recent years, the Quebec Building Code was not in good shape regarding radon prevention, even referring to our old guidelines of 800s, like two or 3 years ago. Now it's fixed. It's moving well. Along the way, they abandoned the context of risk zones. So universal radon prevention is found now in the Quebec Building Code. And I don't know how allowed I am to discuss those consultative committee discussions, but they are thinking of moving forward beyond the minimal requirements we have now. So it seems that it's moving in the good direction. And another highlights, and it's really here to here. It's our collaboration with the Québécois associations in their initiative called Municipalité contre le radon, so Municipality Against Radon. Numerous participants. It's growing, and the host, the city host, also not this year. We're having a mid-sized city, but next year the city of Laval confirmed their engagement and being the ville host. So they're the one who's who are the representative, you know, of the. So it's a. Why is this important? Is that we're seeing larger and larger cities getting involved, and having Laval, you know, giving the example. I think it's the 4th largest city in Quebec. So it's it means something. Maybe so that's for Code de Construction du Québec, and maybe if we can discuss perspective later on.
Do you know, Mathieu, where that list of municipalities, the historic list is? Do they have it on their website?
I don't know if it's on the website, but I can find that. Yeah.
Okay.
It was on the website for a time, but maybe not now. But we should be able to get this list from the Association Pulmonaire.
Yeah, that would be great.
Mathieu did a good sum up of what's going on in Quebec. There's a few other things that we're doing with the Ministry of Health. There is a pilot project which is beginning this year for checking radon exposure in workplace. And also another one with smokers in the Lanaudière region, in a house where smokers who stop smoking where they live, and there is a pilot project also for radon exposure at these places. So that's a few other things that are going on in Quebec.
Great, thanks so much, Dr. Dussault. Anyone else have any highlights from the Quebec area?
Can I ask a question, Pam, for Dr.
Yeah.
Dussault?
For sure.
Great to hear that you're checking smokers' homes, Dr. Dussault. Are you doing it? Are you testing the home?
Oh. Sorry, Anne-Marie, you got cut off there. Do you want to repeat your question?
Dr. Dussault.
Okay, yes, sorry, I cut my microphone. I'm not aware of all what's going on for those testing. It's in the homes where people live and people who stop smoking. That's the only thing I know. It's in the Lanaudière region. But I'm not aware of all the details of what's going on there. If there is something that you'd like to know about that, I can send you more precisely what's going on.
I would appreciate that. Thank you.
Good.
Great. Any other questions or highlights?
No.
Right. Good. Phoebe, I'll check in with you first for the Ontario region. Any updates from there?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Phoebe. I'm the regional radiation specialist at Health Canada in the Toronto office. And so we do have a couple of outreach events planned in October and November. The first would be the Ontario Building Officials Association in early October in Hamilton. So we will be having an exhibitor booth there, and then we'll also have sort of technical experts from Ottawa, that includes Powell and Rob, give a presentation on radon control options for new construction at that conference. And then later in October, I will be attending the First Nations Housing Conference as both an exhibitor and also to give a presentation, followed by the Ontario Non-for-Profit Housing Association in early November in Toronto. In terms of sort of other projects that we're working on, our office, it's our second year working with Eco Schools Canada on their environmental certification program. So we had developed a radon action card with them to educate schools and students about radon. So I just received the stats actually from the last school year. And so during the last school year, there were 31 schools that completed the Radon Action Card actions, and that included almost 5,000 students and 300 staff participating in that event. And then kind of lastly, we have a sort of grants and contributions agreement with Eco Superior, and so they are continuing to do radon outreach in the Thunder Bay region. And that's it for me.
Great. Any other updates or any questions?
I just had a question for Health Canada in Ontario. Are you still working with Ontario Lung? And I noticed that the file on radon, it seems to be obviously a lower priority than it used to be with Ontario Lung. I understand with the cutbacks and COVID that may be necessary, but I just wondered if you had any contact with them.
I do have contacts there, though it is correct in the last couple of years. Sorry, I think that was the fire alarm. We haven't worked on any recent projects together on radon, but any new information I get, I still pass it on to them.
Yeah, good. It'd be great to get them re-engaged. I know they've got a lot of organizational changes, but they were so influential with legislative change in Ontario a number of years ago. So it'd be great to get them back.
Yeah, definitely.
Hey Pam, I can give an update on the radon study in workplaces.
Oh, that's great. Thanks, Lily.
Yeah, so I think just through a series of unfortunate events, we've been delayed many years because we haven't been able to go out and place any detectors. But we're hopeful this year we're going to try again. And yeah, there's some particular workplaces that we're trying to target right now: Woodstock, Windsor, Brantford, Chatham, Kent, Guelph, and Sudbury. But we're planning on going out both like remotely and perhaps in person if that allows. And we're going to try and recruit some workplaces and complete the fieldwork portion of our study. And I can drop my email in the chat if anyone wants to chat or learn more about our study. Thanks.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks so much, Lily. Good. Any other updates or questions? Phoebe, I have a question about the Eco Schools program. Do you have a link to the resources?
Yes, I can share with everyone here in the chat box what the Radon Action card looks like on their website.
Yeah, that would be great. Also, you mentioned 31 schools. So that was 31 across the country?
It should be across the country. I don't know what the breakdown is by province. But I think the activities for the students was really just to learn about radon, kind of take that information home to their parents or do some sort of a small campaign in their school just to sort of bring awareness to the community.
Good. All right, anyone else from Ontario before we move westward? Great. All right, Manitoba. So I don't know if we have anybody from Health Canada to give an update from Manitoba. I know Adam is on the line, so Adam, I'll call on you in a second, but Kelly.
Yeah, hi, it's Dave Kitchen here. I'm the regional manager for Health Canada in Winnipeg. Yeah. Yeah, it's been a busy year with lots of change in the office. I was off on assignment and am recently back. So we've got a lot of turnover. Health Canada, I'll admit, we've been a little bit non-productive in the last several months. But I'm actually, while we're on this call, I'm reviewing candidates right now to fill our regional radiation specialist position. So we're a little bit behind the game. But having said that, we have other outreach staff in the region, and we've been doubling up at events wherever possible to get radon messaging out at other events. I expect to have somebody in the position in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So any of the folks here in Manitoba, Saskatchewan, I'll be reaching out to you shortly to make some introductions. Hopefully that we've got somebody with a start date in the next little while.
Great. That's great news. Thanks, Dave, for that update. Adam, do you want to, I know we've got exciting things going on. Do you want to share some of the work you're doing?
Well, yeah, I'm excited to see that Radon Action Guide when it comes out too. We've had a really, really busy summer for kind of advocacy and awareness with different levels of government. So I know me and Pam had met with I think 3 different ministers over the summer here, a bunch of different health region staff and health Ministry of Health bureaucrats. So we also have an election for the municipalities coming in the fall. So we're going to be starting all that awareness work with new municipalities come November. So it's going to be great to get that action guide. I'm really looking forward to it. It's going to be a great tool for the toolbox. As Pam mentioned, we have our Lungs Matter radon mitigation grant program up and running now. So we've started actually giving out our first set of grants here, and we're getting applications in every month. So you know, we're looking forward to having a busy winter with that program as well, because we'll be launching our Radon Awareness Month in November here. And we also, I've seen Aziz on the call here. We're working with Cancer Cares Manitoba to help promote that grant with lung cancer patients as well. I know Aziz has, I'll let him tell you about their program, but they've got a test kit program running this fall as well. That'll kind of complement what we're doing with the Lungs Matter program. We're also looking to set up a digital radon detector library program, similar to what you guys are doing out in Atlantic Canada. We had the Portage La Prairie Library reach out to us to set up a program like that. So Pam's been helping me get the resources and stuff to them through Take Action on Radon for setting up a library radon detection program. And we're hoping to get many other libraries on board once that one launches in November. So
yeah, that's great. Good.
Yeah, that's kind of it off the top of the head here that I can remember. Probably a couple other things on the go too that I'm just forgetting about. So
yeah, no, that's great. And then of course Manitoba is supporting working with Saskatchewan and the Western provinces with the with the Tackle Radon program, but I think we'll talk about that in Saskatchewan region. Aziz, did you want to give an update?
I guess Adam already covered most of our part at Cancer Care Manitoba. So hi everyone, I'm Aziz. Originally a medical physicist, but I also do some radiation protection work. So we have some interest in doing some research and radon mitigation. And since we're at Cancer Care, where we see lung cancer patients, so we're trying to recruit some of them. About the target is about 150, like a trial project to do some measurements, radon measurements for lung cancer patients, and with the lungs matter project, or sorry, Manitoba Lung Project, offering some money for radon mitigation. We can also use that for low-income lung cancer patients, and like Adam mentioned, we're starting to roll out some of that money to people that are not particularly lung cancer patients, but we're going to start collecting measurements in the fall, again about 150 lung cancer patients, and hopefully most of them or some of them will qualify to get the grants for mitigation, and then we can do a follow-up study with that as well, which we're also trying to apply to grants to see if we can complete some further studies with lung cancer patients. So interesting 2022-2023 coming up as regards radon work. So excited to see what happens.
Yeah, that's great. Good. And also I know Cancer Care recently updated their website, so they've got more radon information on their prevention side of the website. So that's really great to see as well. Good work. Good work there. Anyone else from the Manitoba area? All right, or any questions? And we'll move westward. So again, the Manitoba, or the Health Canada rep for Manitoba is also the same for Saskatchewan. So as Dave mentioned, that is still in flux. And then I know that Bethany just sent me a message saying that something's come up and she's not able to join us. But so unless someone else from Sask Lung is on, I'll give a quick Tackle Radon update. Is there anyone else from Saskatchewan? Okay. So Tackle Radon is an initiative where they are working with football players from the CFL. It's a great outreach program getting radon awareness to a new audience. It started with a Manitoba-Saskatchewan rivalry, yet kind of an all on the same team for people's health concept. And so it's a great initiative that is moving to complete the West. So this year they are working across the country. So Manitoba Lung Association, Saskatchewan Lung, Alberta Lung, and BC Lung are all working together. And they have football representatives from the various football teams. They're also raising awareness. So it's a great, we get on their social media channels and they talk with fans about radon, and they also do media interviews. Of course, they're way more appealing for media interviews than some of the more technical talkers. So it's been a really great initiative. And they also have been brought in some lung ambassadors or lived stories. So they also this year have patients that have lung cancer that are sharing their stories out with their with the football players. So they are just in the process. I think they just launched at the Labor Day Classic and through handing out playing cards. So they used our Take Action on Radon decks of playing cards, and they put one of the football player cards into the decks as a special surprise. So that was a great initiative getting out. People were really appealing, love the cards, and they are continuing to do, or you'll see media and social media information coming out across in October, November, and it does wrap up. So it's sort of a seasonal campaign during the football season, and it'll wrap up in November with the final game. All right, any other initiatives in Saskatchewan or any questions? All right, and moving west, I think I saw Madison. Are you on? Did you want to share some of the initiatives from Alberta?
Yeah, hi everyone. So I'm Madison. I'm the radon specialist in Alberta in the north. I'm located in Edmonton. So first I'll give an update on kind of a project that I'm doing with Roshini and Yelda, so Atlantic, myself in BC. So we're partnering with the Canadian Association of Nurses for the Environment, and we're looking into doing a project, doing outreach for new parents with them. So we're just waiting to get our proposal back, but we think that it's going to be really good. And they have a pretty wide network with different sort of medical professionals. So they are connected with midwives and other associations. So we're hoping that that'll be a really good project to just kind of get awareness out about radon just to these professionals and to new parents. And then for Alberta specifically, I'm going to the Alberta Municipalities trade show next week. So that'll be really good with the regs coming out. It kind of coincides well. So hoping to talk to a lot of people. I know there's not a lot of uptake with the 100 test kit challenge in Alberta. So I'm hoping that this might encourage people to want to do it and kind of, yeah, just get the word out about radon and see if people want to take action. And then I guess just other stuff that's kind of going on in Alberta. I'm also attending the Canadian Public Health Inspectors Alberta branch, their event in October. And with them, I was looking at the kind of outline of the event, and they are actually having a radon presentation with one of the Indigenous Samson Cree Nation. So I'm looking forward to connecting with them and kind of hearing about their radon testing. It's with the Samson Cree Nation, and then Alberta Health Services also helped with that. So looking forward to connecting with them. And then for another First Nations event that I'm going to here is the Enhancing First Nation Housing Relationships workshop. So that'll be really interesting just to kind of see what's going on and if we can talk about radon at all there. And then we're also going to BuildX, just another event. And then I think I saw that Jamie Happy is online. She's the new Alberta Lung sort of person that I'm working with in radon. So I don't know if she wanted to jump on to talk about her projects that we have under the Grants and Contributions program. So Jamie, if you wanted to hop on, or I can talk about them if you want.
Yeah, I heard there was a bit of a staff change where Jacob Sperling had been working with Alberta Lung, and he's gone back to school. So congrats to Jacob. And so it's really great to meet you, Jamie.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe she's having computer issues, so I can just talk quickly about their projects too. So one of the big projects or one of their big projects they're doing is they actually made videos for municipalities and they're going to share it with the Alberta municipalities group here. So that'll coincide really well again with the regs and stuff. So hoping to do lots of work there. Oh, I think Jamie just messaged that she's not able to unmute. So, okay. All right. So anyways, and then they're also part of Tackle Radon. So yeah, that seems like it's all going well. And yeah, so that's kind of the update for Alberta.
That's great. Thanks so much, Madison. Anyone else have any other update from Alberta? Or any questions? Great. Well, great work, Madison. Thanks so much for all the updates there. And moving westward to BC, any who wants to start there?
So I will say I reached out, I think Yalda, who is the regional radon specialist out of BC, is not able to join us today. We do have a couple projects that are going on. Madison mentioned one of them. We have a couple contribution agreements in BC with some great work going on. I don't know if BC Lung is on here, so I don't want to steal their thunder, but they're doing some work through the contribution program and some advertising through the transit system in BC, which is very well used, which is, I'm really looking forward to hearing sort of the impacts of that. And then some work with RDCO, which is the Okanagan region. I don't remember exactly what the acronym stands for. And they're doing some work to engage health professionals, which will be quite complementary to the new project that Madison, Yalda, and Roshini are working on, I think, as well. And I will leave it at that, but I know there's some other great projects going on out west.
Yeah, sounds good. Anne-Marie, did you want to jump in?
Yeah, can I share my screen just for a quick sec?
Yeah, just give me a second if you can't.
And I think Jeff True.
Oh, yeah, you should be able to.
Okay, Jeff True might want to give a quick update on the RDR. So yeah, the BC Lung Association is continuing to do, and I don't see Maureen here on the participants, so maybe she wasn't able to make it. This is Dr. Questel's work on radon and energy efficiency. There are a series of reports here, including a gaps in the system and solutions moving forward. And the Lung Association has been doing advocacy and outreach to different government agencies to raise awareness about this issue in particular. So I'll leave it at that. It's just, I will put the links for the Lung Association. There are 4 reports in total on that energy efficiency series. And then other than that, at Simon Fraser University, we did a research project with the cancer agency here in the province, giving out test kits to staff at the cancer agency. It was a really interesting outreach initiative. It galvanized 3 new research projects on radon, which is fantastic. So if other people are working in organizations where they would like to try doing an internal workplace wellness style radon test kit giveaway, particularly where you could actually galvanize some new avenues for radon research, please reach out and let me know, because I think that there's a lot of potential for this kind of awareness. And just also to flag that the IC, so sorry, Jeff, the ICRP is having its international conference here in the fall, and Health Canada will have a session on radon that will precede the conference. And so there'll be a lot of who's who in the radon world, or in the radiation world, is coming. And so there will be a local session just on radon just before that conference starts. And I should probably hand it over to Jeffrey True if you want to say any update about the radon data repository here.
Yeah, thanks, Anne-Marie, and no rush at all. Yeah, so for those on the call who don't know me, I work with the BC Center for Disease Control. I mostly provide analytical support for our radon portfolio. On the awareness and gathering action side of things, our main product is our radon map, which summarizes measured concentrations. And this measurement data is compiled from a number of groups and organizations, many of whom are on the call. So shout out to those folks, whether it's the Take Action on Radon folks, Radon Environmental, Health Canada, and I may be missing some as I'm scanning through the names and faces here. So we launched this last November for Radon Action Month, and it got quite a bit of engagement then. So we plan to do some additional communication and promotion this November as well, and hopefully get some great traction again this year. And then the main update to the map itself, other than continuing to update it with new data that does come in from the data providers, is to add some population smoking statistics to the map. And the goal with that is to assist folks on the policy and program planning side to prioritize areas that both have high radon exposure and smoking rates. Yeah, so that's my update from that side. And I see Anne-Marie's putting some links in the chat, so thanks for that, Anne-Marie.
Yeah, that's great. Great work. I'm not sure, is Nancy on? Nancy?
I see Nancy, yes, I see Nancy's name.
Nancy, did you want to give an update? I know Kelly referred to the RDCO program.
Sure. Sorry, I had another meeting and I came back. Yes. Well, where we at? Okay, you already explained about our mitigation grant that we sent this. We received from Take Action on Radon $25,000, and we sent through our social media. And yeah, all the rebates were issued, I think yesterday. Yeah, in a month in 1 or 2 weeks. So that money is gone, and I'm already receiving phone calls that when is going to be more money because they are on fixed income and they would like to have access to this type of grants. And so I explained that we are waiting and maybe we will receive more funding. If not this year, maybe the next one, but that's not our guarantee. The other thing is that we have this application we apply for funding through the Health Canada, and we receive a confirmation of funding for this year and next year, and we will be providing some free radon detectors this fall and next fall. But basically, we are going to target homeowners and renters, but most of the radon detectors is going to be for workplaces and specifically for buildings, medical professional buildings. So that's our target this year and the next one. And yeah, we will send a news release, I believe next Tuesday. Yeah, it was changed. It was on Monday, but now suddenly we have a holiday. So the news release is gonna be out on Tuesday, September 20th.
Perfect. Yeah, thanks so much, Nancy. Great work going on there. Anything else from BC or any questions that anyone wants to ask?
I have a couple of things, Pam, I can share, which are positive developments this year. We actually have now a very proactive new radon advocate. In fact, I would call her an activist rather than an advocate, given the work she's done the last 9 months. But unfortunately, fortunately, she's a lung cancer survivor. But she was a registered nurse, or is a registered nurse, but now a realtor. She contracted lung cancer 18 months ago, never smoked, tested at home, a former home, her brother's homes in the Chilliwack area. All of them tested well above the Health Canada Radon Action guideline. In fact, 2 of the homes were at 900 becquerels. She knew nothing about radon before this, and subsequently actually had her DNA analyzed, and the damage it came back was caused through exposure to radiation. So we obviously assumed from that it was radon induced. She has been on a mission ever since to raise radon awareness in the Lower Mainland, and particularly get building codes changed in Chilliwack. She's done some amazing work, and in very short order, we've got the local MLA engaged, the local mayor, and the local MP, who is meeting in Ottawa with the minister responsible for the national building codes. And there's just been a flurry of activity. I've been inundated with requests to make presentations to Rotary clubs, to some of the local municipalities in the region, which we've done very successfully. And so we're expecting some significant changes to the building codes in the municipalities in the Lower Mainland that are currently exempt from the BC provincial building code. So it's amazing what a difference a person that's a lung cancer survivor can make. She's a great example. And so I just wanted to give a shout out to her. Her name is Jill Hall. Pam, I know you know Jill quite well, like you. She's my new best friend.
Yeah, that's right.
So she's just doing some amazing work, and that's great to see. And it just reinforces what a difference a person like that can make. The other thing I would just add to that is the presentations that I've done recently to the Rotary clubs, which is a first for me this year. We've never engaged Rotary clubs, and I don't know why we didn't think of it. But they have an amazing, of course, commitment to the local community. So you're already dealing with people who want to make a difference. And there's such a mix of professionals, with everything from doctors to realtors to builders. Yesterday, I gave a presentation in Chilliwack. We had 60 odd people at the Rotary Club Chilliwack Fraser Rotary Club meeting. Last month, I gave a presentation and we had close to 100 people. 80 in person and 20 that were online. So they're very engaged, and I would encourage anyone that can approach their local Rotary Club about radon as a health risk in the community. And I've just found them to be really engaging. The other thing that I'll point out is following BC's including radon disclosure on the real estate statements nowadays, we've seen a big uptick in realtor interest from both the BC Realtor Association and the local realtors in wanting to know more about radon awareness and education. So we've done lots of presentations to realtor groups this last 18 months, and that's very encouraging because that they can make a difference. So I just wanted to share those things.
Yeah, that's awesome. And she is, Jill has done a lot of amazing connecting. Motivated individual from her circumstances and her history. Like you said, the health connection, the real estate connection, she really is a magical advocate. So, yeah. And we'll mention we are doing the 100 Test Kit Challenge this year in Chilliwack. Erin will mention our projects that we're doing this year.
Yes, no, it's great.
Yeah, good. I was also wondering, Lindsay, did you have an update from BC or anything you wanted to share? Or I thought someone else had put up their hand briefly. No.
I don't have anything to share. Okay. Sorry.
Sorry, no, I think I misread who was putting up their hand. All right, anyone else from BC or any questions? All right, then let's move to the north. I know there's a couple individuals on from the north. I don't know who wants to start. Madison, I know you touched on it. I don't know if you have anything to add from your perspective.
Yeah, so I actually just touched base this morning with our communications person that's responsible for the north, just to try to get to see if we can do any sort of media stuff up there this year, because she did let me know that sometimes it does take a little bit longer to get in touch up north to do media stuff. So we're meeting next week to kind of make an action plan going forward for that. But that's all I have for the north.
Yeah, great. Good. And Jacqueline, I know you're on. I don't know if you have any updates.
Yeah. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Awesome. I don't have any major updates. We don't have anything super big planned this year. We're really trying to get our radon map updated. It hasn't been updated since 2018. So we have some kind of lingering issues with some data and then data quality stuff that we're working through. And we are hoping to have that updated by November for Radon Action Month, so that's probably not realistic at this point. But we'll share some stuff. I'm happy to chat with you guys at Health Canada with what you have planned and share some of your material as well. But we don't have anything specific planned for now.
All right. Good. Well, thanks for the information. Anyone else have any updates from the north? I know we did have a homeowner reach out from Northwest Territories with high levels in Whitehorse, and they were looking for, sorry, not Whitehorse, Yellowknife, and they were looking for some support. So I don't know if anybody else has any contacts in the area. So let us know if you do have any contacts in Northwest Territories, because I was trying to reach out, but we weren't very successful at the time. All right. Now thanks so much for the regional updates. We did want to give an update on some of the work that Take Action is doing. So kind of back to the national perspective. So we'll jump into some of that now. Lynn, I'll get your help with talking, if you're able to, about some of the initiatives that we did. The first one is with the Smokers Helpline. I think Lynn's on. Are you able to? Yes. Yeah. Okay. Did you want to start with the Smokers Helpline, or?
Sure, we can do that. So last year, and we're going to do this again. We're going to do the collaboration again this year. We partner up with Smokers Helpline, which is a program at the Canadian Cancer Society that helps people quit smoking. So we developed some one-pagers to give to the staff and to clients who are calling in and inquiring about stopping smoking. We educated people on radon, asked them if they've heard of radon, if they want to test their homes for radon. We also initiated a text message program whereby we texted all the clients of Smokers Helpline and told them that they can get a free test kit if they were to sign up to the link that we provided. And we actually had a really good uptake of that, I remember, Pam. I forgot what it was, but we had maybe over 300 people, right? Yeah. Who ordered our radon test kits. Yeah. And we're getting the test kits back now. So because it was a success, we're doing it again this year. We're continuing the collaboration with the Smokers Helpline program. We also did the same or something very similar with the Cancer Information Line, whereby it's people who are inquiring about cancer-related subjects, so not necessarily smoking. We educated the CCS staff on radon gas and also provided them with the information in the one-pagers that they need in order to answer radon-related questions. So that's it for SHL and the CIL. This year, we are actually next month, we have a lunch and learn with CCS staff, whereby we're educating all of CCS staff on radon gas, the dangers of radon gas, and it's under the workplace wellness concept. So basically, the angle that we're approaching the subject is we're all working from home. Most of us are working from home. So under workplace wellness, it is important that we test our homes for radon. And we are also providing links to test kits as part of that initiative with CCS staff. And finally, so CCS has lodges around the country for people who are receiving treatment of cancer, or for families who are receiving treatment of cancer, for cancer. And basically we are, one, testing all the lodges to make sure that the radon levels are within limits. And two, we've developed one-pagers and informative leaflets that we're putting around the lodges that families and people can just take while they're waiting in the lodge, while they're sleeping in the lodge, or on their way home back home from the lodge. We are also providing free test kits to families who request it, and we've educated our lodge staff on how to approach people about the subject of radon and how to provide free test kits to people who are interested.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks so much, Lynn. Lynn has been a great advocate with us, or working together as part of our Take Action team and with the Canadian Cancer Society. And we've really taken this year kind of an approach of being a good role model. So Cancer Society has really kind of stepped up with these ideas of educating their staff, testing their own facilities, and then providing the information in their own facilities. So it's been a really great all-round program. So we're really thankful for Lynn and that collaboration there. All right, Erin, I'm going to hand it off to you to talk about the 100 Test Kit Challenge, kind of where we're at to date and where we're going in this fall.
Thanks very much, Pam. So yeah, impact to date, we are currently wrapping up the fourth year of the program. So the people who started testing their homes last fall and finished in the spring, all of those reports have been sent out except for any latecomers. And we've just been really busy meeting with the communities who participated and talking over their results and preparing their reports, etc. So to date, over the past 4 years, 74 communities have participated, and we've distributed over 10,000 test kits with the individual breakdown per province shown on the screen. So moving along, there they are, the 74 communities, and you can see that we really have grown the program from 9 communities the first year up to 30 this past year, with them really ranging from little sort of hamlets of only a few hundred homes or people to up to almost 1 million people, or maybe even over 1 million with Ottawa participating this past year. So it's been really great, and we've been able to work in every region of the country, basically. Still trying to get up north. So on the next slide, here are the results from this past year. So we've basically summarized the number of homes that completed the testing, because of course we distribute a certain number of test kits and then a certain number of test kits come back. That percentage normally ranges between 70 to 90% of test kits coming back, with a few communities getting past 90% of the test kits come back, which is just incredible engagement. And the percentage of the homes that have tested above the guideline level. So you can see in some of these communities, that's a lot. You know, Lake Country at 51, Barriere at 63. So our message to these communities, and we've broken them down here, this is Western Canada, and then we'll go through Eastern Canada. Our message to these communities as we sort of debrief with them and break down the results is that they're not alone. While the provincial averages that we continue to quote, which traditionally have come from Health Canada's cross-country survey, while those averages are lower than these, and no one says like 63% of homes in our province, what we're seeing is that for certain communities, you know, it's quite a different picture. So that can be surprising for communities. Sometimes it isn't a surprise. But it's really great as our program has continued year after year, and we've got this historic data, we can almost always show them some surrounding communities in their region of the province and show them, look, you know, here's other communities that had very similar rates of incidents. Oh yes, and Grand Forks isn't on here. They they're there. They had 35 homes, 48% of which were elevated. And we also pitched this program to these communities as a first step. Generally, we don't roll it out for a subsequent year in any given community, although there are exceptions to that rule. But really, we want to just give them this program as a tool to start having a better idea of what their radon levels are like. And then for a lot of them, it just gets the ball rolling, and they may distribute radon test kits in subsequent years, run awareness programs that kickstart mitigation funding programs. And that's really what we love to see. So on the next slide, I think we move from Western Canada to Eastern Canada. And so generally here, they're a little bit lower in terms of, you know, the incidence of high radon level in homes through Ontario there. It's so still ranging up into the 30s. Through Quebec in the teens is pretty normal, in the 20s. And then some of them are higher. We work with a number of First Nations communities, and if you go to our website, you might not see that. Often they don't choose to broadcast this information, and because of the maybe the band structure or the housing structure, it's just a little bit different, and they prefer to keep that private. But we've worked with, I think, 4 First Nations up to now, and we are, this coming year, we're excited to be rolling out a second year in 2 of the First Nations with whom we're working. This is really interesting because there's challenges in every community, and that's equally true for the First Nations. And then COVID was a real challenge in certain regions. And interestingly, you know, for some communities, it was a real challenge the first year of COVID. And in other communities, it was more of a challenge maybe the second year, or equally challenging both years. All that to say that we're really looking forward to running a second year of the program with 2 of our First Nations this coming year. I think that we've really started to get the conversation going in some of those communities, especially as the results start to come in and people are really feeling motivated to continue testing. So there's our Eastern Canada results. So as I say, it's exciting year after year to have more data to share to support all of our participating communities. And last November, what we did was we sort of just publicized what we've seen up till now. So this graph comes from that data report that we released last Radon Action Month. And really what it's showing here is just what a difference it can make the way you crunch numbers. So here at the base peach line is that 7%, and that's sort of the national average that we all quote when we're speaking with the media or when we're speaking with stakeholders or community groups. It's like, well, you know, there's radon in homes all across Canada, and, you know, Health Canada estimates that 7% of homes are above guideline level. And then what we've done here is we've just put the incidence of homes with elevated radon levels for each of our participating communities there to really show what a spread we do see when we start to crunch those numbers at a community level. And you'll see that very few of our communities have been below that 7%. And many of them have been several orders of magnitude higher, you know, up to almost 80%, I think, in one of our communities. So that whole data report is available on our Take Action on Radon website if you're interested in digging in a little bit more. But realistically, our message is not that, oh, the Health Canada numbers were wrong. Not at all. It's just that that's part of the story. And just as we say, every home needs to test for radon, our message to communities is every community needs to test for radon. Let's see what the story is like in your community, and then go from there. So this year we've got an ever-growing number of communities joining us, and we have a waiting list. But here's who has signed up and confirmed so far this year. So we've got 4 communities in BC, which does include Chilliwack, as previously mentioned, 1 community in Alberta, 3 communities in Saskatchewan, a growing number in Manitoba, some in Ontario. We did cap it at 4 in Quebec because we had a lot of interest from Quebec. So I've got a few of them on the waiting list, hopefully for a future year. And then we're also working on recruiting a couple in Atlantic, just because there's some provinces we haven't been able to check off our list. And there's the list where we're repeating, either because we have specific funding to repeat, or we've got those First Nations that we really want to just keep the ball rolling and try for another year. So it's a great program. It continues to be really successful, I think, and also really popular. It advertises itself just by word of mouth. So no end of interest.
Yeah, good. Thanks so much, Erin. You can go and find the information of the communities of the past. We will be updating as the new communities launched eventually as well. And then in the past, we've worked with the Regional District of Central Okanagan for a few years, one of our past projects was this initiative of testing schools. And so this information will be released shortly. We're just waiting for the school input on the summary report. But it was a pilot project that Take Action on Radon supported, and Karst and the RDCO, as well as Interior Health, by reaching out to schools, both public and independent schools in the district, and to try and get them paying attention to radon. In BC, we have a low number of schools that have tested for radon, as many of us all know. So the idea was if we could provide some tests for them, so we called it a radon screening project. We would show them how to test. We would, provide them some results and try and get them engaged with more testing. And so we will be publishing a summary result of that project, and then also a case study to sort of share a little bit about what we did and how we worked and some lessons learned. And there has been some good things coming out of it. The public schools have identified a couple high levels and are addressing mitigating the high schools with high levels. They also have constructed new, and so they on their own are going out and purchasing tests and continuing tests, and individuals have reported testing themselves, and they're interested in providing information to homeowners. So it's been really good project, and as always, Nancy is a great partner, and she has really great connection and with the community, so it's been a really successful project. Another reminder of the radon reduction sweepstakes. Was there any questions about the school project? Yeah, good. You can always chat in if you have questions, and we'll get to them, or we'll stop at some point. We also have the radon reduction sweepstakes. So we'll be announcing those winners shortly. We're just in the process of contacting them and getting their stories from last year's project. And then the contest is open, so people can apply for $500 if they have mitigated their home using a certified professional. Again, open until next June 30th. And that has been a really great project with garnering stories of people who have gone through the full experience of testing and reducing their radon. And so you can check out some of their testimonials on our website. We've been publishing a report too of the results on that. And we are continuing this radon mitigation. So we had a list of all the programs that we are the mitigation grants across the country. We are continuing to try and see if there are other organizations that can jump on the program and provide support to resources. And so there is, we had worked with RDCO and Manitoba Lung, and then there's another one that we expect to be announced shortly. And then our messaging this year again is prevention starts at home. It was really a great messaging last year. And so we're going to continue that really testing your home is a really important place to protect your family. And so we will be using this in our social media and in our messaging out. The other projects that we're working on this year is we're working together with the Canadian Cancer Society on their social media channels and on our channels. Again, we'll be doing a media push in the communities where we're running the 100 Test Kit Challenge, and we've got some projects to work with radio stations. We'll also got webinars, as Alan has talked about, the Rotary clubs. We've discovered this too, and we've done some presentations with community Rotary clubs, Kinsman clubs, Lions clubs, depending on what's most used or popular in the community. They are a really great engaged group of professionals. Often they're retired people that are part of this community group and super engaged and good advocates in their community. So we do have some webinars set to do with some of those groups, as well as with the Canadian Association of Nurses of Oncology. And so we're looking forward to those. And then we also kick off our 100 Test Kit Challenge with an information session, which we're hoping to do some in person this year. And then we are continuing to do them online. And then we are, as Erin mentioned, we released our results last year from our first 4 years of the 100 Test Kit Challenge, or first 3 years of the 100 Test Kit Challenge, and we will be updating that as well. So we're looking forward to more information coming out about that. All right, I did want to do a little bit of interactive. We're getting to the kind of the end of the meeting time, but I'll get you to log in. You can either use your QR code on your phone if you want to, or on your computer, you can click on in the chat. I put the link to the Slido. So I'm curious, we have developed resources for people, and I'm just curious, before I tell you what they are, on the resources that people are using. So if you click on that Slido app, or you or go to it, then you can have a chance to answer a couple of questions about some of our resources. So I'll just go to it here. Oh, sorry, wrong screen. There. So our first question is, here, which of the Take Action resources have you used so far? And so we do have the posters that Health Canada developed. We have the Take Action on Radon bookmarks and the bilingual postcards. We also have Take Action on Radon playing cards, and then the Tested for Radon window clings, and also some multilingual postcards and bookmarks. So we are curious on how many people are using some of the resources, and did you know about them? The Tested for Radon pins you can wear on your lapel. We've given them out to politicians and make them available for all of our 100 Test Kit Challenge communities for people to take for free. They're a great conversation starter. The window clings as well as an opportunity for people to put on their home the fact that they have tested for radon. And so I know some test kit providers have asked for those, so we've given them and they've included them right in the test kits. And then our 100 Test Kit Challenge communities also, we have those available so people can take them. And so yeah, that's great. Great to see the resources that are available and that are being used. Okay, so the next question is, what would you like to see developed? And so is there something that we're missing? Have you been, in a conversation with somebody or at a show where you were like, oh, I wish I had this or that? And so we would love to see some ideas of some of the resources that you would like to see developed. Part of the initiative of Take Action on Radon is to support you, to help you with developing to reaching out to your community. And so those are great ideas. Umbrella, Take Action on Radon umbrella, that would make a real splash. Fridge magnets, that's a great idea. Door hangers, nice, that's great. Yeah, so we really want to hear what would be helpful for you. You're the one sort of talking with the community and right on the front lines. Lawn signs, that's a great idea. I love that. And so we do want to know your ideas and sort of what would be helpful for us to develop. Often as we if we can develop it and get a lower price point and then share it out across the country, we think it'll be helpful for all of you if we can get a better price point. Mini radon fans as keychains, that's going to be a conversation starter. That's a great idea. Yeah, keychains would be is also a great one. So yeah, that's I don't know, I think I've got one more idea here coming. But we do want to hear that. So we'll reach out to you again and see what kind of ideas that you can come up with, because we really do want to, we're here for you. Take Action really is funded for the stakeholders. And so we want to support you in that. All right, so here's what they look like. If you didn't know what we've got available, so this is the Health Canada poster that we've got, and then we can send out, we usually ship them with the bookmarks, and so they're a really great 1-2 option where you can put up the poster and then have a bookmark for people to take home. We've got, and they're bilingual, so they're French and English, but we also have them in multiple languages available, as well as the postcards. These are the pins in French and English, and then the window clings also are available in French or English. We also have the playing cards available, and as I mentioned, the multi-languages for these postcards and bookmarks. So far we have them available in Tagalog, Punjabi, Italian, and Chinese. We've also been trying to get them translated into some of the First Nation languages, but the translators have been really busy with COVID. So each time we've tried to do it, they've got distracted. So we will try again this fall as we work with our First Nations communities. We also want to remind you, we have on Pixabay. So you can go to pixabay.com and Google Radon, or just search on Radon. And we do have images up. So if you can click on our account, or if you can't find it, just let me know and I'll send you the link. But there are images available with radon detectors and in place, in home, various ones, trying to get good media options for them. So we use that often when we send out media releases to our media contacts. And then also a reminder that we still have the Scout resources available that were developed for schools. So those are on the Take Action Radon website as well. They're intended for communication tools from schools out to their community to say, hey, either we've tested or just plain, hey, homeowners, you should be testing for radon. So those are also available on our website. And so if we have, we've heard lots of different ideas. We wanted to make sure that we also had opportunity for discussion. We noticed last year that there's so much going on that our meetings were getting longer and longer and longer, which is fabulous. And so again, today I did book 2 hours for this just in case, and it's taken a long time to share all the ideas. But we also wanted to make sure we had opportunities for regional meetings. And so we have those scheduled next week. And so if you haven't got the invite yet, or you haven't clicked on them, we did send them out in our newsletter, and we will provide you more information about them. But we would like to have regional meetings where we can support you in regional discussions. And so those are coming next week. Yeah, we can share those out as well. I'll send another email with those all so you can watch for that. Roshini's asking if Take Action did a survey with website users to see if people are finding information easily. That's an interesting question. Roshini, can you expand that a little bit? Are they finding the information on our website easily or in general?
Yeah, just, every once in a while, when I'm on some website, doesn't matter what, sometimes there's a little pop-up that says, when you're done, do you want to do a little quick survey? We want to ask you how your experience was on this Canadian Tire website. Were you finding the information that you found? Was it user-friendly? Stuff like that. Just wondering, since we've had now Take Action on radon.ca for quite a while, so
yeah,
would be nice to see if there needs to be any web updates or anything like that.
Yeah, that's a great idea. We actually have been working with a web designer this year, and he's been doing it from the back end, checking out things to help us see how people are using the website. But that's a great idea. Roshini, you're always coming up with some.
It's my fatal flaw. But I guess I bring it up because, every once in a while, and especially when the postcards go out, we do get a lot of calls about, I went on the website, but I couldn't find this, or where do I find this? Or it was hard to find, where in Nova Scotia to buy a test kit or whatever. So
yeah,
just wonder if anyone is tracking that really.
Yeah, well, we are listening to those phone calls, but yeah.
Not me, not anymore. I don't even know where my phone is. I'm just so tired of it. I'm joking. I know where it is.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. That's a great idea. Any other thoughts, any other ideas that anybody wanted to share? Any chat that I missed? Oh, I know there was one question about the CFL project, Tackle Radon, going into Hamilton. And there is thoughts to it. There is a player from, is he in Hamilton or he's in Montreal? I can't remember, but they do have players from various teams. And I think they are working at kind of gradually expanding it, so.
Pam, is the presentation material from today going to be available?
Yeah, I'm hoping to kind of fill in some notes from things that you guys have shared, and then I'll send it out in our in an email as well. So yeah, for sure, we'll make that available.
And would it be okay, Erin, I thought did a great presentation there, and that image of that bar chart with the sort of indoor testing results that you've been doing over the last few years. It would be great to be able to use that in a PowerPoint. And so if it's okay, just indicate yes or no, because I think that's a very powerful picture.
Yeah, for sure. I put the link in the chat directly to that report where it comes from. And yeah, we can share images with you to help you with your slides and share it out. Yeah, that's great, Alex. Thanks.
Thanks.
Mathieu.
Hi, everyone. No, it's something we've discussed earlier, but it's about the product safety alert and a recall over the defective radon detector. To me, it's just another demonstration that radon is taken seriously by existing laws, because those safety alerts and those recall, they are made under the Health Canada product safety laws. So I think there's a lot, we have a lots of umbrella laws in Canada, either provincial or federal or municipal, protecting people against radon. And this, to me, it means a lot, because it's an official recognition under an existing law that radon is a serious risk. So I felt good about it when I saw that coming.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and really effective way to get out the information. Yeah. Actually, one other update that we've had recently, and that's with the NRCan Energy Advisors. So they're, and Marie talked about work that she and Noah have been doing with the energy efficiency program and trying to get information out. And we have been able to do a couple webinars for energy advisor associations and programs. And one of the issues we recognized recently from one of our certified professionals was that there was a gap, so that they weren't allowed to share radon information with every, they were preventing energy advisors with sharing energy or radon information. I don't know if this was all areas or whether it was certain provinces, which is in contrary to sort of work that Kelly had been doing with NRCan and developing resources for the advisors to be able to share out information. And so we've actually had some really great opportunities to speak directly to NRCan, those energy programs, and talk about radon. So we're looking forward to seeing more come out of that. Any other? Yeah, great question. That wouldn't be a radon meeting without this question, Kelly. Did you, any update to the Canada guideline? Currently it's at 200. Is there any information about whether it will be reduced to 100?
No, not at this time. It was a subject of discussion with the Federal Provincial Territorial Radiation Protection Committee, because it's not a guideline that we set on our own. We set it in collaboration with the provinces and territories. The last time we had a discussion about it, the decision was made to keep the guideline level at where it is at this point in time.
Yeah, I have a little trivia tidbit. Oh, now I'm going to, Bliss Tracy. We met with Bliss Tracy in Ottawa and had a really great opportunity to talk with him. For those that don't know, Bliss is, he was part of he was the chair of the working group in 2006 that initiated the changes in Health Canada to the 200. And so we were able to meet and chat with him when we were in Ottawa, and we were talking with him about this. And Dr. Dussault, I think you were on that committee as well, were you not? Yeah. But we were asking him, like, what do you think about the 200 guideline? Why do you think the committee chose that? And he said, well, the World Health Organization had given a recommendation of between 1 and 300, and they felt, and in his opinion, the committee took the middle ground and just felt like that was sort of where the middle ground was put. I don't know, Dr. Dussault, if you have any memories to share from that.
You're right. It's always hard to tell where we should go. And the 200 guideline, I think it's a good one. It's in between, and the WHO handbook, it's right in the middle of what is expected to be. But of course, 100 should be better, would be better. If we could have that guideline, it would be better. But I think that the 200 one is hard, easy to defend, facile à défendre.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah, and it certainly, there is no international consistency. So it's not like every country has the same guidance. There was reference to the US guidance, which is basically 150 becquerels. Europe has often used 300, depending on the country. So yeah, there's definitely inconsistency, but yeah, thanks for that. Mathieu, do you have something you want to add?
Yeah, it's about the 200. I think that the important things for us, and I think we're seeing this in more and more Health Canada publication, is to make Canadians understand that it's not a safe radon concentration. It's an action guideline. So, and that's something misunderstood. But from early as the radon reduction guide for Canadian to the new radon measurement guide for public building, we have clear message, you know, that there are seasonal and annual variation, that even if the risks are lower below the guideline, there's no safe radon concentration. So we're finding more and more of those messages, because a number is never intelligent by itself. So
you're right.
Pam?
Yeah.
I saw your question, and I know it was to me directly, but I'm happy to discuss it openly with regards to the Energy Advisory Program, and you mentioned it. I don't know that there's necessarily going to be an update. We're certainly advocating for inclusion of radon testing and mitigation in the Canada Green Homes Grant Program. I know that's not the actual formal name. I can't remember exactly what it is, but there is some funding programs coming out of NR, Natural Resources Canada, I think, and or National Research Council and CMHC. But as far as the energy, like the EnerGuide program, there's absolutely support. Like we distributed information about radon and recommended in that, you know, in that email out to all of the EnerGuide partners. Last year, I think we did that, and that was through this program, that they could consider, you know, giving radon information or getting certified, suggesting testing, those types of things. So there's very much support for raising awareness and inclusion of radon testing in the program. I was very surprised when I got that message. That's why I very quickly reached out to some of my colleagues. But is there some other type of update or change that you're looking for?
Just the way that it was left in our email exchange was that the information would be going from the NRCan Advisor Program out to their contacts, to make sure that that was made clear, because it was ruled by some of the organizations a conflict. Sorry, what's the word?
Yeah, conflict of interest.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, but so sorry, I thought you saw that email and maybe you weren't CC'd on it. Yeah, they came back the same day or the next morning and they had reached out and clarified things and made it clear.
I'm just wondering whether whether we heard anything more that from it. So no.
Yeah, no, because I figured this was a one-off misunderstanding. If this is something that's coming up more often, then we should have a separate discussion around it. Because it's again very much conflicts with what they would have seen from Health Canada and the program saying they support radon awareness and inclusion of radon testing in their services, which came out with the newsletter and the messaging that we sent out. So if it's coming up, definitely let me know. And if we think at that point in time, there's a need for a more general message out to the partners again, we'll definitely work on making that happen.
Okay.
Kelly, do you have any updates on the Canada Labour Code possible amendments? I know I always ask this, but also the National Building Code, Pam, have you got any updates on the sort of possible amendments there?
So on the Canada Labour Code, they're still moving towards harmonizing and changing the level to 200. It's the delay. They're now saying fall winter this year. I follow up every 4 to 6 weeks. Pam's really good at checking in with me too and keeping on top of it. And then really, it's not a hesitation to make the update. It's that the part of the code that it's in is a very large part, and it's all been updated. And so it's web writers and all of this stuff that has to happen so that they can gazette it, which is formally release it. And they've had some challenges with resources and because of COVID and stuff. So really it's just delays from that perspective, but I'm very hopeful this fall, winter, it will finally be out, but I'll definitely let you all know as soon as I know. Yeah.
Do you think that they will apply it to all workplaces, not just mines?
Oh yeah, no, no, the Canada Labour Code applies to federal workplaces and some of the others that fall under that umbrella. But we did update our guideline to very clearly spell out workplaces, right? And I think between the two, it's not a regulation, but I think you'll see it'll have a positive influence on workplaces overall.
Yeah, it's a recommendation, right?
Yeah. We have heard they've done a little bit of education, so we're sort of thinking that that's maybe another step forward, that somebody from the ministry has done education out to their workplaces. So
yes, they have. Yeah. And they've been inviting us to do some presentations as well. So yeah, they want to make sure that these changes that are significant, like this reduction in the radon level in the Canada Labour Code, is properly communicated.
Anne-Marie.
Hello. Yes, I just wanted to follow up with the energy efficiency trail. Just in general, we really aren't seeing that information trickle down to the auditors themselves. The research that BC Lung did with people who do energy audits on the ground found that this wasn't being discussed. Maybe that survey was mostly just of people in the West, but it sort of behooves the question of, are we actually telling the people on the ground who are doing this work how important radon still is, and how do we get the granting agencies to promote radon testing post retrofit? So I'm really looking for other partners to come along. This does seem to be advocacy, both not just for government, but also the practitioners and the agencies providing funds for retrofits, because there's a huge push coming for funding around not just the greener homes, but also provincially, each province will have additional incentives for homeowners. And these are things people can do on their own. Even simple sealing and weather stripping can increase radon levels. So super happy to connect with other people who want to engage in this topic area, because there's a lot of work to be done.
Yeah, in fact, we did had a meeting with one grant program, and they were super interested in radon and including radon mitigation. And the update from that one was they ran out of money, so they didn't bother including radon mitigation or any information to anybody because the program grants got snapped up too quickly. And so, yeah. Also, just a quick update, as Alan asked about the building code. Yeah, it's really good. There is a committee, a task group that are working on submissions to building code requests. So for those of you, in Canada, we have a national building code, which is updated every 5 years. It usually takes every province generally adopts the national building code, except for Ontario, and Prince Edward Island and Newfoundland tend to do it by municipality. And then each of the provinces can do something a little bit unique, like BC has gone above and beyond but the updates, the task group has submitted a request to the building code, and the standing committee has reviewed it and come back with some feedback, and the task group is working on responding and getting more information to the standing committee. So there is work towards, and that task group is looking at a passive stack recommendation for the National Building Code. We are getting updates also in Ontario. So we expect one day that Ontario will harmonize with the National Building Code, but up until now, it's up to each municipality to determine if they want to bring in a radon group, radon program. And so there have been 8 or 9 municipalities in Ontario that have brought in radon programs, and we are seeing more. We are trying to provide them with some input onto how to improve some of the programs. So we hope that maybe we can see some changes to the programs that they're implementing, but that's how the building code works. All right, and we are out of time. I thought we were going to end early, but this has been really great discussion. So thanks so much for all the questions, and we will send out a follow-up email. Like I said, we will have the regional discussions next week, so we would like to see more kind of a workshop atmosphere. So we're going to break it down to the regional level, so you can join those next week. And yeah, feel free to keep in touch. We'll connect you. If you heard something going on here today that you want more information about, let us know. We will send out the notes later this afternoon. All right. Thanks, everybody. Great to see you.
Thanks, Pam.
All right. Take care.
Have a good day, everyone.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Great meeting.
Thanks, Kelly.
Everybody.